I absolutely love fly fishing. You actually just saw a spot that I really enjoy fishing here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I've got a really good friend who also loves fly fishing, and he told me a story recently where he had a day that he could set aside just to get in the creek and go after some trout. And so as he was putting his waders on and his boots on, he just found himself praying that, God, I'd just love to experience you in the creek today. I'd love to feel close to you. And so as he approaches the water, he felt this nudge that he should go to this next curve up where there's this seam of water between fast flowing water and some slower water, and that there's got to be some fish in there. And so has some really nice casts right where he wanted to, but no fish. And so then he said, I felt a different nudge that maybe I should go up to the next pool of water and spend some time just stripping a streamer right through that pool and see if I can't catch a fish there. And so he goes to the next spot, ties on a new fly, a new pattern, and tries multiple times with different streamers. No fish, nothing. And so he takes a break for a little while, just sits on the bank, enjoys the sun, decides to move on and feels a nudge that around the next bend, he knows there's some more kind of slack water. It's moving slower. There's a chance to go after some rising fish. And so he decides I should put on a dry fly and I'll try this one, and tries to get the right drift going through the water as natural as possible, but no fish. Tries on a different fly, no fish. By the end of his day, he had no fish in the net, no fish in hand. And he was having this conversation with God of feeling like I was kind of unsuccessful. Why didn't I catch any fish? I felt like I was even kind of following your voice in some ways. And he felt this overwhelming message from God of, I just wanted time with you. I just wanted your attention. I got just what I wanted. Whether there was fish in the net or not, I got time with you and I got your attention, and we were together. And he immediately felt like the day was not a waste and that there was actually great value in the day. Jeremiah 17 has become one of my favorite passages in Scripture. Jeremiah existed 600 years before Christ even did, and one of his main purposes was to be God's voice in many ways to the people of Israel who were just constantly turning to the things of this world and turning to idols to fulfill, to find life in. And he was like a broken record saying there's no life in the things of this world. The only life that can be found is in God and trust in him. And in Jeremiah 17, he says, but blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose confidence is in him. He will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It doesn't fear when the heat comes. Its leaves are always green, and it has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. It's pretty obvious when you are fly fishing that the most healthy and strongest trees are right by the water's edge. I know that because I've gotten hung up in them plenty of times with my fly, and I've lost flies to the trees. But it isn't hard to understand why those are the healthiest and the strongest. It's because regardless of the circumstances, whether there's a ton of heat or many, many days without any rain, there's still this life source that's flowing right next to its roots that it can draw from. That no matter what's going on around it, no matter what the world throws at it, it can still be healthy and even produce fruit. There's a lot of things in this life that promise to bring water to our roots and promise to be life-giving that don't actually deliver. And when we send out our roots by the stream and when we actually give God our attention, desiring to hear from him, reminding ourselves of what's actually true, that to love him and to love others is the greatest commandment that Jesus reveals when he's asked, what's the most important thing? And sometimes we just need a break in our day to renew our mind to that simple fact. I'm gonna be putting these things out as often as possible, hopefully once a week, to cause a pause for the day, to turn our attention back towards God, to place our trust in Him, and to renew our mind to those facts. And my greatest goal is that it not only helps me, but then helps you, to remind you to stay planted near the water and to send out your roots by the stream. If this is helpful to you, share to a friend, like it, give me your comments, be happy to interact with you here. Subscribe to the channel and I'll keep continually giving you the opportunities to send out your roots by the stream. Thanks, see you next time.